Move aside, you pathetic nobody. Oh my God. Move aside, you pathetic nobody. You're worthless. Shoppers paused, eyes widening as whispers and giggles rippled through the crowd. He didn't care. He was arrogant, heartless, and convinced she remained powerless. But she didn't falter. Not this time. She stood composed, steady, and observed him, concealing a truth he could never imagine. Her new husband wasn't ordinary. He was a tech mogul worth millions. Moments later, a silver luxury sedan arrived. Out stepped men in designer suits, their presence commanding immediate attention in the shopping center. The same people who had looked at her with sympathy now stared at her with astonishment. This is the story of betrayal, pride, and the ultimate shift of power. What do you think happened when he discovered who she was with? Hello, friends. Welcome back. Before we begin, I have a small but sincere request. Please subscribe. Your support keeps these narratives alive. Every time you click that button, you're helping us amplify voices that would otherwise remain unheard and stories that need to be told. And in the comments, tell us where you're watching from. Because together, we are not just sharing stories, we are preserving hope. Maya stepped off the train with the kind of silence that comes from learning how to become invisible. No one in her Chicago suburb expected her to return. And if they had, they would have expected the same woman who left 3 years ago with nothing but a worn suitcase and a heart shattered by deception. Let them believe that. It made her existence simpler. The fewer people who understood the reality, the more protected her tranquility remained. She adjusted her scarf and walked down Elm Avenue. Nothing had transformed. Same uneven pavement. Same cafes where people still observed through glass windows. Same recollection of how she used to walk home weeping because Marcus said she humiliated him. Now she walked with her head held straight, measured, cautious not to attract attention. She didn't want to encounter anyone she recognized yet. She wanted a day to simply breathe. Her phone vibrated. A brief message from Adrian. Arrived safely? She smiled before she could prevent herself. Yes, all good. I'll call later. He responded with a small heart. Nothing theatrical, just how he communicated with her. Always gentle, never insistent, never overwhelming. He allowed her to decide when the world discovered she was Mrs. Adrian Chen. No one here even knew she was married. No one knew her existence had changed, and for now, she preferred it that way. She reached her mother's apartment before she felt prepared. The small entrance light flickered like it always had. The doorbell buzzed unevenly like it had when she was 23. Some things refused to be repaired. She raised her hand to knock. The door opened before her knuckles made contact. Maya. Natalie's voice stretched into a smile that didn't touch her eyes. Wow, you actually showed up. Maya forced a polite smile. Natalie. Natalie pulled her into an embrace that felt like being confined in a coat you didn't want to wear. Mom's inside. She's been expecting you. Then she leaned back, scanning Maya's clothing in a single piercing sweep. You traveled light. Guess nothing's different. There it was. The first jab, barely concealed. Maya let it pass. She had discovered a long time ago not to engage with Natalie's pettiness. Natalie thrived on reactions. Maya refused to provide them. Inside, her mother stood at the counter with a half-prepared meal. Patricia looked older than Maya remembered, though her posture stayed rigid as ever. She turned at the sound of footsteps. Oh, Maya. She wiped her hands on a towel and gave a tired smile. The kind that suggested she wasn't certain whether to be pleased or anxious. You made it. I did. Maya stepped closer. How are you, Mom? Patricia embraced her but lightly. It was warm, but it wasn't home. You should have called ahead, she said. We would have prepared something. I didn't want to cause a fuss, Maya answered. Natalie snorted. You don't say. Maya's jaw tightened, but she didn't react. Not yet. Dinner felt like sitting on fragile ice. Every sentence cracked the surface a little. Her mother asked vague questions about where she'd been, what she'd been doing, who she'd been with. Natalie didn't even attempt to hide her curiosity. Every time Maya paused, Natalie leaned forward, waiting for a weakness she could exploit. "So, you're back for good?" Natalie asked, stabbing her vegetables like they offended her. "Or is this another one of your temporary phases?" "I'm not here to discuss phases," Maya said quietly. Natalie chuckled. "Right. Of course. You always avoided being honest about your disasters." Patricia sighed. "Natalie." "What?" "I'm asking a question." Maya placed her fork down. "I came home to visit. That's all." "That's all," Natalie repeated. "You disappeared for 3 years. You don't call. You don't send real updates. And now you say you're here to visit like we're distant relatives. Come on." Her smile stretched, sharp. "What happened? Things collapse again?" Maya felt the old heat building under her ribs. The heat she used to mistake for shame. Now she recognized it as anger she had learned to hold steady. "I'm fine," she said. "Better than fine." Natalie's eyes narrowed. She didn't like answers she couldn't control. "Sure. I guess fine is what broke looks like these days." Patricia reached out as if to stop her. But Natalie lifted her hand. "Mom, let's not pretend. Maya doesn't have much to her name. She's not functioning well right now. It's okay to admit it. We're family." Maya kept her voice level. "What makes you think I'm broke?" Natalie blinked. "Well, aren't you?" She said it with a laugh, like the notion of Maya having anything more was ridiculous. Maya almost wanted to tell her. Almost. But she kept the truth tucked deep inside. She'd reveal it when she chose, not when provoked. The conversation shifted, but the tension didn't fade. Patricia brought out dessert, trying to smooth things over, but Natalie kept circling Maya like a predator, waiting for blood. After dinner, Maya excused herself to step outside for air. That was when she heard Natalie's voice drifting from the kitchen, sharp and whispering fast. "She came back empty-handed," Natalie said. "I told you she would. She's still desperate and lost. She'll be easy to manipulate again." Maya froze, eyes lowering as each word sank in. Marcus's voice came next, low but clear. "Good. That's what I need. If she's desperate, she'll accept whatever help I offer." Maya's stomach twisted. Marcus was in the apartment. Natalie had let him in. They were talking about her as if she were a project, a tool. Natalie laughed. "Just act concerned. She trusts too easily and she still sees the good in you. It's pathetic, honestly." Marcus scoffed. "She should. I supported her for years." Maya pressed a hand to the wall, steadying herself. Natalie lowered her voice even more. "And you'll get another opportunity now that she's alone again." Marcus sighed. "Maybe. Depends how much she resents me for before." "Oh, please," Natalie said. "She still wants you. She's always wanted you. She'll take whatever scraps you give her." Maya shut her eyes, not from tears, but from the sharp sting of recognition. Natalie had stayed in contact with him all these years. The same Marcus who humiliated her, betrayed her, and painted her as unstable. The same Marcus she thought she'd removed forever. She stepped back, careful not to make a sound. She didn't want to walk in there and show them she had heard. She didn't want them to see how deeply they had underestimated her. Behind her, Marcus said something that made Natalie laugh hard. "She'll be easy to manipulate again." Maya let out a slow breath. "No, they won't," she thought. "Not this time." Maya stepped off the porch and walked toward the sidewalk, needing a moment to think, to breathe. The air felt heavier now. Everything inside the apartment made sense in a way she wished it didn't. Her mother avoiding eye contact. Natalie's sharp interest. The easy confidence with which they spoke for her, about her, against her. None of them knew she was married. None of them knew the life she had built. They still pictured her as the woman Marcus destroyed. Maya walked until she reached the corner pharmacy, the one she used to stop at after difficult days. She paused near the entrance, letting her body calm. Her phone buzzed again. "Thinking about you. Everything all right?" She typed back. "Just family things. Nothing new." Adrian replied. "Call if you need me. I mean it." She smiled faintly. "I know." She slipped the phone away and stepped inside the store. She needed water. Maybe something sweet. She didn't need the past pressing in from all sides. She picked up a drink and moved toward the checkout line. People shuffled around her, chatting about sales, children tugging on sleeves, a couple arguing quietly over coupons. Normal things. Stable things. Then she heard it. A familiar laugh. Confident. Mocking. Too loud for the space. Marcus. He rounded the corner of the aisle, his phone against his ear, his smile wide. He didn't see her yet. He was talking to someone, bragging about something trivial and foolish, the kind of conversation he always used to have when he wanted attention. She wanted to walk the other way, but she froze for a second, just long enough for him to turn and spot her. Everything in his face changed. Surprise first, then smug satisfaction. "Well, look what the wind dragged back." He hung up without saying goodbye and walked toward her with a swagger that made the shoppers glance up. Maya kept her face calm. She didn't want this scene. Not here. Not with strangers. Marcus stopped right in front of her. "Didn't expect to see you walking around like everything's normal. Figured you'd be hiding at your mom's." She said nothing. He smirked. "What's the matter? No comeback today?" He stepped closer. Too close. "Still weak, huh? That's your problem, Maya. Still soft, still pathetic." Maya reached for the space between them and moved aside, but he shoved her shoulder. Not hard enough to knock her over, just enough to humiliate her. "Move aside, you pathetic nobody. You're worthless." Heads turned. Someone gasped. A cashier paused mid-scan. A small girl stared wide-eyed at the man who seemed proud of himself. Marcus chuckled, shaking his head like he pitied her. "You still walk around like you're worth something. It's cute." Maya straightened. Calm. Still. Controlled. She refused to bend. She refused to give him one drop of the emotion he wanted. He waited for her to break. She didn't. That annoyed him more than anything. He scoffed loudly and pushed past her, making sure the shove was public enough for everyone to see. She watched him walk away, her heart steady. Not shaking this time. Not bleeding. She knew something Marcus didn't. This wouldn't end how he expected. She turned to leave the store, ready to go back to the apartment, ready to breathe again. She didn't know yet that he wasn't finished. He wasn't done humiliating her. And she didn't know that minutes from now, the entire shopping center would fall silent because of her. But that moment hadn't arrived. Not yet. She stepped outside, the cool air brushing her face. She checked her watch. Almost time for Adrian's call. She wanted to hear his voice, but not like this. Not when she still carried pieces of Marcus's words on her skin. She took one step toward her mother's apartment. Then she heard a voice behind her. "Maya." She knew it was Natalie before she turned. Natalie walked quickly toward her, cheeks flushed, anger simmering. "What did you say to Marcus?" Maya blinked. "Nothing." "Why?" "He just stormed past me like I ruined his life," Natalie snapped. "I asked him what happened and he said you were being dramatic again. Did you start something with him?" Maya stared at her. "No. I didn't even talk to him." "You must have said something," Natalie insisted, stepping closer. "Marcus doesn't get that worked up over nothing." "Ask him," Maya said calmly. Natalie scoffed. "He won't tell me the truth. You know how he is." Maya raised a brow. "I do." "Do you?" For the first time, Natalie hesitated, like the question cut deeper than she expected. "Don't start with me," Natalie said. "I'm trying to help you." By meeting with him behind my back? Maya asked. Natalie froze. Maya didn't say more. She didn't need to. The silence said enough. Before Natalie could respond, Maya walked past her. She didn't look back. She didn't see Natalie's expression twist from irritation to fear. And she didn't see Marcus down the mall corridor, watching them both with a calculating look that meant trouble. She just kept walking, unaware that every step she took was leading her toward the moment everything would turn. Maya returned to her mother's apartment with her thoughts running in tight circles. She pushed open the front door quietly, hoping to slip in unnoticed, but voices floated from the living room. Her mother and Natalie were speaking fast, nervous, their tones sharp like they had been arguing. Maya paused near the hallway, unseen. "I'm telling you, she's acting strange," Natalie said. She didn't react to Marcus at all. Not even a tear. Patricia's voice trembled. "Maybe she's stronger now." Stronger or hiding something? Natalie shot back. "She's being quiet. Too quiet. Maya never comes home unless she wants something." Patricia sighed. "She's our daughter. That never stopped her from causing chaos before." Maya's chest tightened. They believed a version of her that never existed. And they spoke about her like she was a problem to manage, not family to care about. She stepped into the room before they could say more. "I'm back." Both women jumped like they had been caught stealing. Natalie recovered first. "We were just talking about dinner. You disappeared suddenly. I needed air." Maya looked at them both, hoping for something soft. Anything that said they wanted her back for real. She found nothing. Patricia reached for a glass of water on the table. "Are you staying the night? I can make the guest room." Maya hesitated. She didn't want to stay. She didn't feel safe here. Not with old wounds opening and secrets hiding in every corner. But leaving now would cause questions she didn't want to answer. "I'll stay," she said. Natalie forced a smile. "Good. Maybe we can talk tomorrow." "Really talk?" Maya nodded but didn't trust the tone. She excused herself to the guest room, closed the door, and sat on the edge of the bed. Her phone buzzed again. "Still okay?" She stared at the message, her fingers hovering over the screen. For a moment, she wanted to tell Adrian everything. The whole ugly truth. But she stopped. Not because she didn't trust him, but because she didn't want her first real moment of returning home to be overshadowed by the past. "I'm fine. Going to rest," he replied. "Call me if you wake up." She took a deep breath, grateful he never pushed, never assumed, never demanded she open herself on his timeline. She lay back on the bed and closed her eyes. She didn't sleep long. Shouting from the hallway jolted her awake. Natalie's voice rang through the apartment, furious. "How could you let her back in? She ruins everything." Maya sat up, heart pounding. She moved to the door and cracked it open. Natalie was in the hall pacing, talking on the phone.
"No, Marcus, listen.
She's not the same. Something's off. I'm telling you, she's going to cause problems if we don't manage it." Maya's breath stilled. Natalie paused, listening. "Then find out." "I don't know. Ask someone. She probably has no one left anyway." Maya closed the door again before Natalie could turn around. Every word sank in deeper than she wanted to admit. Natalie wasn't worried about Maya's well-being. She was worried about Marcus's plans and whatever secret they were hiding from her. Maya stood there for a long moment before deciding she needed to get out of the apartment. She grabbed her coat and slipped out the back door. The night air carried the soft hum of traffic from the main road. She walked toward the mall a few blocks away. It was open late and she needed a public place, somewhere she could breathe without feeling judged by the walls. Inside, the crowd moved lazily between stores. Holiday sales signs glowed from every window. People walked around laughing, carrying bags, living uncomplicated lives. Maya walked without looking at anything. She wanted to stop thinking. She wanted to be numb. But fate wasn't done with her yet. She turned the corner into a wide corridor, and there he was again. Marcus. He spotted her before she could turn back. His eyes lit up with something mean, something eager. He was still angry, still embarrassed that she hadn't given him the drama he wanted in the store earlier. He walked toward her with that same arrogant swing in his step, like he still owned a piece of her. Maya stayed rooted, calm, unwilling to run. "Well," he said loudly enough for several shoppers to hear. "If it isn't the princess who thinks she's too good to talk to people." Maya kept her voice steady. "I don't want any trouble." Marcus laughed. "Too late. You already made a fool out of me back there." "You made yourself look that way," she said, quiet but sharp. His eyes darkened. "You still have that attitude. No wonder everyone gave up on you." A few people nearby slowed their steps. Marcus stepped closer, lowering his voice, but not his hostility. "You think you're somebody? You're not. You never were. You walked out on the only people who ever put up with you." Maya didn't move. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction. He leaned in. "Do you know what your sister told me earlier? She said you came back broke and desperate. Said you have nowhere else to go. And she's right." Maya flinched before she could stop herself. Marcus saw it and smiled. "Still soft," he whispered. "Always soft." Then louder, sharp enough for the crowd to catch. "Don't pretend you have pride now. You're nothing." He shoved her again. Harder this time. She stumbled back a step, but didn't fall. She planted her feet and stood tall. People stopped walking. A circle of eyes formed around them. Whispering started. Some pointed. Some laughed awkwardly, not sure what they were witnessing. Marcus smirked like he loved the attention. "Look at you. Can't even protect yourself." Maya straightened, her voice low. "I don't need to protect myself from you." "Oh, yes you do," he said. "You always will." She met his eyes with a calm he didn't expect. Not anymore. Something shifted in his expression. He didn't like that. He liked her scared, quiet, apologizing for things that weren't her fault. He opened his mouth to spit out another insult, but the sound of tires screeching outside the glass doors cut him off. People turned. A silver luxury sedan rolled to a stop at the curb. Not flashy, but commanding. Expensive without trying. The kind that didn't belong in this small suburb. Marcus frowned. What the hell? The doors opened. Men in tailored suits stepped out. 3 of them. They moved with purpose, each step confident, controlled, powerful in a way that caught attention instantly. They weren't security guards from the mall. They weren't local police. They belonged to a world far higher than anything inside this building. A hush fell through the space. Even the teenagers who had been laughing at the scene went silent. The men didn't look at anyone except Maya. Marcus followed their gaze and slowly turned to stare at her. Maya kept her face calm, though her heart thudded once hard. She hadn't expected Adrian to send anyone. She had told him she was fine. But he must have heard something in her earlier messages. Something she didn't write. The men approached the entrance. The automatic doors slid open. Their polished shoes echoed across the mall floor. Every head turned. One of them stopped a few feet from Maya and bowed his head slightly in respect. "Mrs. Chen," he said clearly, loud enough for everyone around to hear. "We've come to escort you." Marcus's face drained of color. Natalie, who had just walked in from the other side of the mall, froze in place. Patricia, behind her, clutched her purse like it might steady her. Maya stayed still for a moment, letting the silence stretch, letting the truth settle in the air around all of them. Then she exhaled once and looked straight at Marcus. "My husband is waiting." Marcus's mouth dropped open. Natalie's eyes widened. The entire mall seemed to hold its breath. People whispered Adrian's name before he even stepped inside. They didn't know who he was, but they felt it. His presence moved through the mall like a quiet shift in the air, the kind that made strangers straighten their backs and pull their voices down. Adrian walked in with calm steps. Nothing rushed. Nothing dramatic. His eyes went straight to Maya. He didn't look at the crowd or Marcus or anyone else. Only her. Maya felt her breath loosen the second he reached her side. He touched her arm gently, checking her without making a scene. "Are you all right?" he asked in a soft voice that still carried authority. She nodded. "I'm fine." He studied her face for a moment, then looked at Marcus, who tried to stand tall but failed. Adrian's expression didn't change. There was no anger, no shout, nothing loud. Just a quiet intensity that felt colder than rage. "What happened?" Adrian asked Maya. Before she could speak, Marcus forced a laugh. "This is all a misunderstanding. I didn't know I didn't know she had company." Adrian didn't even glance at him. "Maya." She gave a calm, simple answer. "He shoved me." Marcus stiffened. "It wasn't like that," he said quickly, the words tripping out of him. "She was in the way and the place was crowded and she took it wrong." Adrian's jaw didn't move, but his eyes sharpened. It was enough to make two teenagers near them step back. "If you put your hands on her," Adrian said quietly, "even once, that is enough." Marcus swallowed hard. "You've got it wrong." Maya didn't add anything. Her silence cornered him more than anything she could have said. Adrian let the tension sit for a moment before turning to Maya again. "Do you want to go home?" "Please," she whispered. He nodded once. His men closed in smoothly, making a space around the two of them. The crowd parted like water. Marcus watched all of it with rising panic. He stepped forward. "Wait. Maya, did you tell him anything? I mean, about us? About the past?" Maya looked at him without blinking. She didn't answer. That silence rattled him. His face twitched, his confidence slipping. "You didn't tell him, right? You wouldn't twist it. You know how things went between us." Adrian lifted his head slightly. That was enough for his men to step between Marcus and Maya with an unspoken warning. Maya leaned closer to Adrian and said softly, "Let's go." He placed his hand lightly on her back, guiding her out. Marcus stood frozen, his mouth open like he needed to justify himself before the world collapsed under him. Natalie and Patricia hurried toward Maya from across the mall. Natalie's voice cracked. "Maya, wait. We need to talk. We didn't know. You should have told us." But Maya kept walking. Adrian didn't look at them. His silence stung them worse than any harsh word. As they stepped outside toward the silver car, Natalie grabbed Patricia's arm so tight that Patricia gasped. "She's lying," Natalie whispered. "She has to be lying. There is no way she married a man like that." Patricia stared, shaken. "Natalie, please lower your voice."
No, Natalie hissed.
"Did you see those men? They called her Mrs. Chen. That can't be true. Maya married to someone like him. She must have tricked him or something." "She wouldn't," Patricia whispered. But the doubt was there. Natalie pulled out her phone. "If she won't tell us the truth, we'll find it another way. I know someone who works with a reporter. They'll dig until something cracks." Patricia looked horrified. "Natalie, that's too far." "Not if she's lying," Natalie said. "And honestly, I bet she is." Maya didn't hear any of it. She slid into the back seat of the car beside Adrian. The door closed. The chaos stayed outside. For a moment, she didn't speak. She felt the sting of Marcus's shove still on her skin, but the deeper ache came from what she had overheard earlier. The way her family still sided with him. The way they talked about her like she couldn't stand without someone holding her up. Adrian reached for her hand gently. "You don't need to talk about anything until you're ready." She leaned back, letting her head rest against the seat. "He hasn't changed." "Not at all." "No," Adrian agreed. "Men like him rarely do." His voice had no judgment, only observation. Maya let her shoulders relax for the first time all evening. The driver pulled away from the curb and the mall disappeared behind them. After a few minutes of silence, Adrian looked at her again. Maya, that wasn't the first time he behaved like this, was it? She knew what he was really asking. She shook her head. He treated me badly for years. But back then, everyone believed him. Even my own family. Adrian's eyes softened. And now? She gave a sad smile. Now they still believe him. Adrian didn't respond right away. He watched her for a long moment, then said in a low voice, "I'm sorry you went through that alone." "It's different now," she said. "I'm not alone anymore." His hand tightened around hers for a brief second. It said more than any speech could. When they reached her mother's apartment, Adrian got out with her. Natalie and Patricia stood on the porch waiting, both pale, both trying to look composed. Natalie stepped forward with forced confidence. "We didn't know you were with someone," she said, trying to smile at Adrian. "This is unexpected." Adrian nodded politely. "Maya needed support tonight. I'm glad I could come." Natalie blinked, clearly thrown off by how normal and calm he seemed. She had expected arrogance or distance or some kind of cold tech mogul stereotype. She didn't know what to do with a man who spoke gently without lowering his power. Patricia stepped closer. "We're glad she has someone," she said, but her voice wavered. Maya looked between them, reading every twitch, every swallowed word. Natalie was planning something. Patricia was torn, but tilting toward Natalie's influence as always. Adrian sensed their discomfort and kept his hand lightly at the small of Maya's back. Not possessive. Simply supportive. It changed the tone of the whole porch. Natalie's eyes flicked down to where his hand rested. Something sharp flashed through her expression. Jealousy, maybe. Resentment. Something ugly. Adrian gave Maya one last look, brushing his thumb across her knuckles. "Call me if you need anything. Anything at all." "I will," she said softly. He kissed her forehead. Simple and intimate. Then stepped back and let his men open the car door. Natalie's mouth dropped a little at the gesture. Patricia's hand trembled near her chest. The car drove off, leaving the three women in uneasy silence. Natalie broke first. "Okay. Maya. You expect us to believe that man is your husband?" Maya walked past her toward the door. "Believe what you want." "That's not an answer," Natalie snapped, following her inside. "How did you meet him? When did you get married? Why didn't you tell us?" "Because it wasn't your business," Maya said quietly. Patricia closed the door behind them. "Maya, this is sudden. Adrian seems very, well, successful." Maya didn't turn around. "He is." Natalie scoffed. "So what did you do? Trick him? Hide your past? Lie about who you were?" Maya stopped and turned just enough to look at her. "No. I didn't lie about anything. He knows everything about me." Natalie's jaw clenched like that ruined her entire argument. "You expect the world to accept this when you've always needed help from everyone? Come on. What did you tell him to get him to marry you?" Maya stared at her with a calm that unnerved Natalie. "Nothing. I didn't chase him. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't pretend. He chose me." Natalie's face twitched with something dark. Patricia tried to soothe the tension. "Maya, sweetheart, we're just trying to make sense of things. We want to know the truth." "You want control," Maya said softly. "Not truth." After Maya went to her room, Natalie pulled Patricia into the kitchen. "She's hiding something," Natalie hissed. "You saw how calm she was. She's lying about him. She's hiding something big." Patricia pressed her hands together. "Natalie, stop." She seemed happy. "That's the problem," Natalie whispered. "Maya has never been happy." "Not really. Something's off. I'm calling Lisa. She'll connect us with a reporter. They can dig into Maya's marriage. If she's lying or hiding something, we'll know." Patricia shook her head weakly. Natalie, please. She's your sister. And she's dangerous when she hides things, Natalie said. Maya didn't hear any of that. She sat on her bed with the lamp turned low, holding her phone as Adrian's name appeared on the screen. You didn't tell me everything, did you? Maya swallowed. About what? About him. She blinked. What about him? Adrian hesitated, then sent another message. He once pitched a proposal to my company. A very dishonest one. He was blacklisted for it. Maya's heart dropped. Marcus. What was the proposal? Adrian replied. He was trying to use someone's name to get access. He never said who. I think I know now. Maya stared at the message. Marcus hadn't come back into her life for closure. He wanted access to her husband's world. And Natalie had helped him. Her chest tightened. The walls felt too close. Everything from her past was reaching for her again, even though she had climbed out. And the worst part was knowing this wasn't the end. This was only the start. Maya barely slept that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Marcus's smirk, Natalie's suspicious stare, Adrian's worried message. By sunrise, she felt the weight of everything pressing on her again. She got up, washed her face, and tried to steady her breathing. She stepped into the kitchen, hoping for quiet, but Natalie was already there, scrolling her phone with a grin too satisfied for this early in the morning. Patricia sat at the table stirring her tea without drinking it. Natalie looked up. Morning. Sleep well. Fine, Maya said, brushing past her. Natalie leaned her elbows on the counter. You know, it's interesting. I searched Adrian last night. Your husband is basically a ghost. Rich, private, barely any photos. Almost like he's too good to be true. Maya kept her back to her. He values privacy. Convenient, Natalie said. Patricia tried to calm her. Natalie. No, Natalie said, eyes locked on Maya. If Maya wants to run around claiming she's married to some tech mogul, shouldn't she be able to prove it? Maya turned slowly. I don't have to prove anything to you. Natalie smirked. Then you won't mind when other people start asking questions. Patricia finally spoke. Natalie, enough. Maya didn't stay to hear more. She walked out of the apartment and took a long breath on the porch. Her phone buzzed in her hand. Adrian. Are you all right? She answered honestly. Not really. Want me to come get you? She closed her eyes. No. Not yet. He paused before replying. Then tell me what you need. Maya wished she knew. Everything felt tangled. Within hours, the article appeared. Local woman allegedly manipulates tech CEO into sudden marriage. Sources claim troubled past and financial motives. Maya's hands shook. She opened the article. Photos of her from the mall. Pictures of Adrian cropped in a way that made him look distant and cold. Quotes from unnamed sources saying she had a history of unstable behavior and clingy tendencies. Someone had fed them lies. Someone close. Her heart pounded. She called Adrian. He picked up on the first ring. Maya. Did you see it? She whispered. Yes. His voice was steady. We can shut this down. I'll make a statement right now. No, Maya said. Wait. I want to see how far this goes. I want to see who else turns on me. Adrian exhaled slowly. Maya, don't let this hurt you. It already does, she said. But I need to know the truth.